Live from our studios, just steps from the fabulous Las Vegas Strip, it's the Business Lounge with your host, David Wright.
Hi, I'm your host, David Wright, and welcome to the Business Lounge, where we talk to real people about real business and real success. With me today, I have Giloh Morgan. Giloh Morgan's a friend of mine, but he also happens to be an outstanding artist, producer, and composer. So, Giloh, thank you for being on the show today.
Did you just call me Lawrence Fishburne?
Yes, I did. I can't go there.
Right.
Just remember what I said. What goes around comes around. It'll be your turn next time.
That's right. That's right.
So, Giloh, tell us a little bit about Giloh and the life Giloh had.
Wow. I am the father. I've been married 12 years. We're the father and parents of 5 children, and living here in Las Vegas from New York City. I moved from New York here. I had an extensive career in the music business, and life brought me here. And so currently, you want to know what I'm currently doing? Currently, I'm the worship pastor at the Champion Center. So I'm in charge of all the musical and theatrical aspects of our church. And so, yeah.
So that is outstanding. I noticed, because I kind of do a little research on my guests before they come on the show.
Right.
So I understand that one of the things that you helped do is produce, I think it is the top 20 or top 10 song that was featured on Hernando's Hideaway. Talk to me a little bit about that song.
Awesome. My sister is a recording artist. Her name is Giloh Morgan, and she's had an extensive recording career, minor R&B star. But we had a top 10 record. It was actually top 10 in most countries around the world. It's called Dance With Me, and was based on Hernando's Hideaway. So the song is Dance With Me. It's a kind of Latin R&B song. And it was featured on Dancing with the Stars, and that earned us a top 10 record around the world. So,
outstanding. So as an artist in Las Vegas, and one of the things I didn't understand, you always hear about all the headliners on the Strip, of course, but there are a lot of venues that people play in here. And one of the ones that I was most surprised to see you in is with the group, the 10 Tenors of Las Vegas, at the Suncoast doing a Christmas program. So talk to me about how that came about.
Okay, I was contacted. In a circle of doing music, you'll have all these people who do stuff. Music is a funny business because there's always these guys who do stuff. So in my circle of doing things, I sing, and I was contacted, hey, do you want to be a tenor? And we're putting a 10 tenor show together, and it ended up coming together. We rehearse all these Christmas numbers, as well as your individual numbers. And it's a guy named Aaron Arrington who put the show together. And I was contacted through his music's a funny world, man. Yeah.
So outstanding. One of the things I noticed, the first year I went to the show, you guys were kind of mild and laid back. This year, when I went to the show, you really laid it out there, and it was received very, very well. If I remember, the Vice President of Operations gave you kudos in the process of putting that show together.
Yeah. The first year, it was only scheduled for one show. And the response was so huge that we had to do another show like a week later. So this year was 2 shows back to back. So, yeah.
Sellouts both times, right?
And it's amazing for something like that to be in a casino. It has a gospel edge to it. So for that to be in a casino is amazing as well. So a great holiday show.
As a worship leader here in Las Vegas, what is the #1 challenge that you're faced with during your day-to-day routine as a praise and worship leader here in Las Vegas?
Well, I'm responsible for approximately 50 people that work in my department, and they're volunteers for the most part. Musicians, there's about 10 to 15 musicians, the rest are singers. So it's everybody's schedule. Everybody is so busy. And so most people who would come to church or to a worship service, they appear and everything happens while they're right there. They have no idea of the time that it took beforehand, the hours that it took leading up to that. So it's rehearsal schedules, getting people in place. I could have 4 people call me like Sunday morning and say, hey, my cat just died. hey, somebody ate my homework. Not that it has anything to do with church, but somebody ate my homework. I'm not going to be there, or whatever the case, and that will throw the whole thing off. So scheduling is a big thing that I see here.
I think that's true for anybody in business here in Las Vegas. One of the challenges that people have are timeliness, people being on time, showing up when they make a commitment, and then actually doing what they said they can do when they get there. Help me understand that process that you went through. I noticed that there aren't many soloists that go through during the praise and worship, that there are a key group of people, but then people fall in and fall out. So, and that's typical of musicians. And I know that that was a long question to ask, but I'm really interested in how you keep on top of all of that. You know, what are some of the things that you do to make sure that you don't drop the ball and keep the ball rolling forward?
Okay. Interestingly enough, because it's a church, I came from a world where it's all about the soloist, right? My sister's a phenomenal vocalist. It's all about what she can do on the stage, what she can pull off. In the church setting, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the people engaging, especially in a worship environment, praise and worship environment, because the people need to engage. People's lives are so busy. So have they talked to God for a half hour in song, I'll say, for any period of time during that week? No, most people haven't. But to literally sit and stop and to say really casually nice things about the Lord, say nice things about God for a half hour, people don't get to do that. So and you'll notice me all the time, I will cut the band and it's all about the audience, bringing forth the sound that is respectful to God. So that's very important. Whereas in R&B and in my career, 2001 and beyond, it was all about how snazzy, how fresh, how cutting edge the vocalist could be, or whatever music I was doing. And in this case, it's totally different. So.
Outstanding. One of the things that I have noticed is that you seem to be well versed at many instruments. The latest one was the trumpet, and by the way, the solo was outstanding. So the trumpet, but you play keyboards, piano, organ, guitar, probably bass and drums. Are there any that I've missed in there?
You're right on it. A couple, it's all good. I appreciate you noticing.
Yeah, you know, and how? What type of discipline does it take to become that consummate artist? So many young people today think that if they can rhyme, that they'll be a success. But I get the sense that the key to your success is really being a student of the industry.
Yeah. I didn't have a childhood. That's why I play so many instruments. I'm one of four. I did have a childhood. I had a great childhood. But music, my mom's from India, my dad's African American, and her goal was that her kids would play music for whatever reason. She just had that desire in her heart. She came to Detroit in the late 60s, had not eaten chocolate, had not ever spent money, but yet her goal was that her kids would have a musical impact. I know you're like, I got a couple more questions off that one, right? But I literally look at music, and what you see me do for the time we've known each other is nothing what I ever did in the music business. I'm a songwriter, producer, composer. I do not stand up and sing. I'm not a soloist, yet that is in me, obviously, as you see. I'm behind the scenes. I hated being up front. I just want to push the button. More people make money behind the scenes. That's where I understood business-wise and all the things I've done. Producer on I have a movie in Legally Blonde, behind the scenes. So this is so upfront, you know, that it's another funny thing that I get to do is just sing and stuff. But all the instruments is as a result of practice. I spend so much time dating my wife. Within the first couple of weeks, I flew in, I had a guitar. I sat down to watch a movie with her and play the guitar. And she was like, what are you doing? It's what I do all the time. She got furious that I was going to sit there, watch a movie with her and play the guitar. So it's what I do all the time. It's just whatever instrument is at my fingertips, I will just pick up.
So it's a 24/7 type of feel then. I also understand that you speak several different languages. Is that because of your upbringing or being in part of New York?
Okay, let's clarify that. I speak taxi a bunch of languages.
Okay.
I've traveled around the world. Because of Dance With Me, we went around the world, and that had a huge impact on my taxi languages. But I can sing in a bunch.
Okay.
Because of music school. So we sang in French, sang in Italian, and sang in, obviously, English and others, yeah. But as far as speak fluently, no. Spanish will be after we get through with our 1:30 service at the Champions Center.
Okay. So a couple of things you had mentioned. One was the drive of your mom, and they said behind every great man is a great woman. So aside from your wife, I don't want to offend her because she'll get me, I know she will, but aside from your wife, was your mother that great woman that really pushed you forward?
I would have to say, absolutely, without a doubt. Talk about somebody who was in my corner from day one. Obviously, day one. Right. But there to push, to encourage, but yet not the stage mom who's always like pushing like that, but just there. And whatever we were interested in, the support was there. But you have to have that drive in business, period. I've dabbled in all kinds of business. You have to have that drive. You have to be, you cannot let your reins down, because the moment you do, someone else takes your spot. You know, you have to be there. And you have to be committed to, I'm committed to music, obviously. It's not a hobby to me. It's not something I think I'm going to do. And that's what you'll see. Guitar Center and those big chain stores operate on the hobby people who just come in, who are kind of going to scratch at the surface. But in business, whether it's your own business, entrepreneurship, direct sales, whatever the case is, you have to be committed to it. Otherwise, it will not. It will not work.
Speaking of business, the business end of music has changed dramatically since even I was a kid. 8 tracks, cassettes, LPs, CDs, MP3, and now with looking at the internet and YouTube and Facebook and so many places where artists can air their own music. What impact has that had from your perspective in the music industry?
By the way, I didn't notice some of those ones that you mentioned.
I know. You're too young. I understand, right?
No, but it has totally changed the business. Since I left New York, it has changed. As a matter of fact, I was involved in some think tanks that said, whoever can figure out how to copyright, whoever can figure out how that MP3 sitting on your computer can be not shared, will be a multi-billionaire, because it is that easy for someone to send you a track, done. YouTube has changed. It has just totally changed the industry. You are now, what put the record companies out of business is iTunes. The moment that iTunes was able, me as an artist can load something up and immediately hit my social media people and they're buying my music. I've taken out the middleman. And with all due respect to record companies, they are essentially the middle people. It is the consumer and me. And in between us is this gatekeeper who says you're good, you're bad. And that's been erased. YouTube and iTunes has basically, CD Baby, all of that has erased it. And that didn't exist 10 years ago, for lack of better words. Yeah.
I also see a lot of people who put, for a lack of better word, junk out there. Which has also cluttered it. So how do you, with your music and your talent, get above all of the noise that's out there to get noticed on an iTunes or on a YouTube?
That is a challenge because it's relationship based. And you have to scour the earth for relationships. That being said, you've got to attack people. You've got to get in front of so many people. And it's almost like the high school thing. The jock who has the most friends, he's the most popular. Maybe he's not the best, but for whatever reason, he's there. And most likely, Kenny G, who was the nerd in school, will become the most famous later on. Well, that's changed. So social media is so important to that. You have to just be as friendly, as networking as possible. It's all about networking. All about it. It has nothing. Talent, you don't have to have talent to make it, is still the same, regardless. It's become harder, actually, because everyone gets a shot. Yeah.
So you would say that would be true for business, too. The ones that are persist and are consistent in approaching what they have to sell or what they have to offer are going to be the successful ones in business.
Absolutely. It's back to you have to be committed. I not only have to be committed to my craft, I have to be committed to getting in front of people. I have to be committed to my social media. I have to be committed to my audience, which are people who might not know who I am, yet stumble upon me, and what's the best way for them to do that. Then within a minute of seeing this Giloh Morgan, whatever my songs are, whatever, they'll make a decision. Like, nope. Or I want them to decide, yes, choose me as a fan, as an artist, and they become a fan. And that is just, it never rests. You cannot rest. You absolutely cannot.
So we're just about out of time, unfortunately, and I would love to have you back again at some point in time, but take a minute and let's hear a shameless plug about what you've got going on in your life.
Wow. Well, I have a record called Champions 3, which I just recorded. It is some of the most top cutting-edge worship music that you will find. Trying to get it mixed and wrapped up by Easter, but look for that. Giloh Morgan, Giloh, at Facebook. Spelling of my name gets everybody, but Giloh at Facebook is the best way to reach me. So I play everything.
All right.
Any genre. It
doesn't matter. Just do it.
Oh, it torments me sometimes. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to make this happen. This is Dave Wright from the Business Lounge, where we talk about real people, real business, and real success. Thank you. We'll see you the next time.